How would your life feel if you had certainty about your future? If you knew that the plan that you put in place would work, if you were certain that the goals that you've set would be achieved, how would life be different if you had the confidence that you had the ability to achieve your results? If you had confidence in your plan, that you had confidence that you were doing the right thing? Welcome back to Increase. I'm your host, Blake Anderson. Glad to be back here with you wherever you're watching, listening, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Welcome to another episode. It's a podcast we're trying to form leaders to solve the world's problems. Transformational leaders who will lead their communities, their organizations, and the people around them into the change that they're looking for. You're that kind of leader. Did you know that? You see, you're created in the image of God. He created you to be a steward of this planet, to take dominion over this planet, to be fruitful and multiply on this planet. And He's empowered you to be a transformational leader, the kind of leader that makes change. I have some questions for you, leader. I want you to think about your current circumstances and your current results. I want to ask you if you suffer from these problems. Do you feel like the future is uncertain? Are your results uncertain? Are you uncertain about what to do now? Does your team have confidence in you? Do you know how to plan for the future that you want to see? Are you able to get traction with what you're doing? Unfortunately, there's a lot of leaders out there who have a title, have people report to them, are getting paid to lead a team, but aren't getting the results that they've been hired to get. Don't seem to have the traction or the momentum that they feel like they should have. I've helped numerous businesses over the years, and it's often not a talent problem. Come into multiple teams with talented individuals that had the resumes, they had the desire, they had the know-how, but they didn't have the results. They couldn't seem to quite get the ball over the finish line. Have you ever felt that way? Kind of stuck, feeling like you're spinning your wheels, like you can't seem to get the project moving, and when you do, you don't seem to get the result that you're after? You feel like you wonder whether your team has confidence in you as a leader? When you give direction, do people immediately stand up and take the field? Or do you sense some hesitation and pushback? When you're presenting a vision to the team or your next goal, you have kind of some side-eyed looks and some questioning about whether this is appropriate or whether we can achieve it. Talking about certainty. How would your life, your job, your business feel if you had certainty about your future? If you knew that the plan that you put in place would work, if you were certain that the goals that you've set would be achieved, how would life be different if you had the confidence that you had the ability to achieve your results? If you had confidence in your plan, that you could set a plan and get there, that you had confidence that you were doing the right thing, that you knew without a shadow of a doubt, this is what I'm supposed to do right now, and this will get me to the place I'm trying to get to. How much different would your team be if there was confidence amongst your team, when they knew that their efforts mattered, that you guys were going to win, right? Think about the difference when there's momentum with what you're doing and the traction that you can have because you're moving in the right direction. It's possible to have consistent results. There are leaders out there that win every single time. How would your life be if you're that kind of leader? That you commanded the floor because the team knew that when you spoke, it might as well be law or the truth. That when you set a goal, is because they knew they'd get there no matter how big it was. And when you put forth an action plan, that there was no doubt this is exactly what needed to be done to get there. You see, that's what a visionary leader, that's what a transformational leader does for an organization. It brings a level of confidence, even when they're moving into uncharted territory, that there's a certainty of victory. And that can be a realization for you. That could be a truth for you. Stick with me. I want to show you the path from your problem of uncertainty to the possibility of confidence. Because I believe that our results are different when we're confident. And our confidence comes when we have competence, when we know what to do. So I want to lay you out the path. I'm talking today about how to lead through uncertainty. Because as a leader, you're going to have lots of uncertainty. Most of us never really know whether they're going to get there, but it doesn't stop a transformational leader. See, transformational leaders see the fog and they steer into it. They see the chaotic situations and they jump in the middle to try to bring calm and confidence in the middle of the chaos. Transformational leaders know how to put forth a beacon, know how to cast a vision that people will rally around so that they get the results that they've promised. And that can be true for you. So you have to understand, if you want to be a transformational leader, the kind of leader that people don't just listen to, the kind of leader that just doesn't just have a title, but the kind of leader that leads change, that creates change around them. There's three things that you've got to know. Maybe you've missed the last few episodes. I want to tell you what a transformational leader looks like. And then I want to show you what a transformational leader does to handle the uncertainty that comes along through leading through change. You see, a transformational leader, of all the characteristics you would say that they have three primary characteristics that distinguishes them from a leader in title or just a leader with just a little bit of rapport. A transformational leader is someone who has vision. They see a different possibility. They see a future that doesn't exist yet. They see a change that hasn't happened. But they have identified that we're going somewhere different, and they intend to create a change that hasn't happened. So they have vision. The second thing that a transformational leader has is they have influence. You know, Maxwell says that leadership is influence, and I believe that. And a transformational leader has influence with their organization and with the people around them. Maybe if they're a transformational leader in their community. So they could put forth the vision, but they have the respect, the rapport, the honor of the people around them, so that when they say which way we're going to go and how to get there, that the team rallies around them. They can marshal together the efforts of many because they have influence. And the third component, a transformational leader, is someone who takes responsibility. They take responsibility for the results. They understand that if they're going to put forth a destination, then getting there is as much their responsibility as a team. See, a transformational leader understands that a leader's success is in the hands of their team, but the team's success is the leader's responsibility. Transformational leader knows that he needs everyone who might come around him or her. Needs the team to accomplish the thing that's as great as they've put forth. Understand that the vision that they have is so much greater than themselves. And so they put a dependence on the team and what the team has to offer. But they also understand that it's their responsibility to lead the team to a successful destination. Are you that type of leader? Do you want to be that type of leader? Because a transformational leader doesn't shy away from uncertainty. Transformational leader doesn't shy away from chaos. They don't shy away when the circumstances aren't going well, when the future hasn't been written yet. No, they cast forth that vision and they take the team there. So I want to tell you what a leader has got to respond with in these circumstances. A leader has got to respond with faith. And this is what a leader's faith looks like in times of uncertainty. You see, there's two real steps to a leader's faith. A leader has to believe that the vision that they've cast forth is possible and they will get there. And there's 2 steps that they use to get there. And this is an important path if you want to be a transformational leader that has faith to lead your team into greater places, because it will take it. But there's 2 major steps that you need to know. The first step is a leader has got to make a decision. A leader has to decide what they want. Okay? So they'll first decide what they want by casting forth a larger vision. And then the leader will then follow that larger vision with milestones. They'll make decisions to decide we are going to get there. So you first have to start by defining success. Like Yogi Berra said, if you don't know where you're going, you'll probably end up somewhere else. So a leader understands, first and foremost, when we set a vision, is we have to make a decision. Now, part of making a decision, this word decide means to cut off. So when I decide on a place we're going, as much as knowing where I'm going, I'm also deciding where we're not going. So a leader makes a decision as they cast forth that vision. They set the goals that the team can see, the mile markers that we're going to be moving towards to get there. And then the second thing, maybe the most important thing that a leader does when they're exercising their faith, is they prepare to receive the results that they're asking for. They prepare to achieve the goal. So what's that look like? It's easy to say. It's much harder to do. I see very few leaders really truly knowing how to exercise their faith, because see, this faith component is believing in something that hasn't happened yet. This faith component from real leaders knows that they co-labor with God, that you're co-creating a future that doesn't exist, and you're relying on those around you, but you're relying on a benevolent God who's coming to assist you in this goal. You understand with your faith that you ask, but there's a part that you have to do to receive. And a transformational leader understands the art of receiving, the importance of receiving, and knowing that I can't just ask for something, I've got to make a way to receive it. You know, there's an old parable that says that 2 farmers prayed for rain, but only one got up the next day to prepare to receive it. So how do you prepare to receive your goal? Well, the first step that you've got to do when you're preparing to receive anything is you've got to become the person. You've got to become the team or the organization that can handle such a blessing, that can achieve such a goal. See, the first things first. The heart of the matter is the matter of the heart. Success starts on the inside. Before we can achieve anything on the outside, we understand that we must become a match for it on the inside, because our external results are the product of an internal reality. And a transformational leader understands that it starts with them, and that same principle holds true for the organization. So when I set a vision for my company, when I set a goal for my team, I understand that this is a place that we've not yet gone. And so we're going to have to become a team or organization that we haven't been yet. You see, if we were a team able to achieve such a thing, we'd be there already. But the fact that we're going somewhere new means we're going to have to become someone new. Transformational leader understands it starts with me. Success starts on the inside. And we have to first become the people in the organization needed to get there. So that means you might have to start developing some of your team. Might mean that you might have to start reading some books. You're going to have to take your leadership game to a whole nother level, because you're trying to go to a place that you haven't been. It's going to require a leader that you aren't yet. And if you're a transformational leader trying to take a team there, then you have to know that's your responsibility. And you're going to model that and watch other people follow along. If you need other folks on your team to level up their game, then you're going to have to show them you're taking your game to the next level. You may not be the weakest link on your team, but the weak link needs to see the leader changing their game, changing their skill set, and go on to a whole nother level, and they will follow suit. And they will follow you because they understand that you're taking your words seriously. And you mean business. You want to get to this place that you've told them you're leading them to. So number one, as you prepare to receive, is you have to become that person, team, or organization that can get there. And then the second thing is you got to create the capacity, right? You have to create capacity to more. You have to make room for more. It's the vacuum law of success. Nature abhors the vacuum. Have you ever heard that? It's a great way to describe nature. Nature abhors a vacuum. You see, the wind blows because pressure changes. And these different pressure changes is moving the wind around. As a vacuum is being created in one pressure system and another pressure system is coming in to fill the vacuum. You watch animal herds do the exact same thing, as maybe a deer population, as it starts to get overpopulated, will seek a less populated area. Nature abhors a vacuum, and the same thing is for the success that you're after. You need to create a vacuum for that success. You see, if I'm asking God for a blessing of money, but my hands are full with these things, I've first got to empty my hands so that I could receive the blessing. And the same is for your team. You've got to empty your hands. You see, if you are trying to press into a new opportunity, new challenges at a new level, then the level you're on right now has got to stop being such a problem. You've got to create room in what you're doing for the more that you're asking for. How can you handle a greater volume of business when you're already behind on your orders? How can you expect to be given a greater opportunity when you're missing deadlines? You see, when you decide that you're going to go somewhere different and you're going to become a better team and a better organization, then you start where you're at. You got to start mastering where you're at, understanding that right now we've got to make room for the more. This can't continue to be a problem. We've got to solve this problem now so it's not a problem when the more starts to come at us. Okay? So there's two things that you need to do when you want to create capacity for the more. Every time you want more, you create capacity for it. So first I'm going to organize everything around me. I'm going to organize my desk as a leader. I'm going to organize my email as a leader. I'm going to organize my files as a leader. I'm probably going to organize my vehicle as a leader. I'm going to get my life organized. I'm going to organize my team around me, and I'm going to insist that everything that we are doing be organized, that there not be any clutter, that we can find what we're after, that we document our process. We've got to become excellent at what we do right now, so much so that we don't think about it anymore, that it becomes second nature and instinct. We've got to simplify. You see, simple scales and fancy fails. So you will only continue to grow as you simplify. And so if the things you're doing now are complicated, how could you handle more complicated things? You got to simplify where you're at. So you simplify what you're doing now by organizing what you're doing. And then you want to create a process for everything that you're doing. See, all new things start as an idea, and some people are trying some things, and we're working out as a team, we're talking on the phone more, and we're emailing more, but eventually a process must be created. This must be internalized to rote memory, and we've got to be able to do the same thing every single time like clockwork. When you create a process for what you're doing, you make room to be able to handle more. You make mental capacity to be able to handle more. You free up time in the day. You see, if you want more with the team now, then you've got to get everybody being able to complete their work in less than 40 hours. If they can't complete their job now in 40 hours, how are they going to be able to do more? So you've got to create a process for what you're doing. You've got to organize what you're doing. And then likely you might need to increase your team. You might need to bring some more people on to handle the more. Though I would caution against it, because most of us can do more with what we have. Most of us can handle more if we would just get organized and create a process. But see, the Bible says that faith without works is dead. And if you won't do this process of creating capacity, of organizing what you have and creating a process with what you do, then I don't believe that you really believe that you can achieve what you're after. I don't believe that you have faith for what you ask God for. Faith without works is dead. So with the body without a spirit. You see, faith must be acted upon. If I really believe that we're going to double our sales, then I'm going to start working on the process necessary to be able to fulfill all the sales. If I've set a goal that we're going to 10x our business, then what must be true for us to do that? How many more people will we need? What software will we need? What processes will need to be put in place? If you will begin to do that, you'll begin to exercise your faith. And out of that becomes the plan in which the team needs to start preparing for the more that you have asked for, preparing for the more that you told them that you're leading them into. So I want to do a recap. I want to bring this all together in a very succinct manner so that you can start thinking about what you're after and how to get there. There's no way to get around the uncertainty of life. Transformational leaders are not running from uncertainty, they're running into uncertainty. Because a transformational leader knows how to bring order to chaos, knows how to put a plan in place that will get the team to the destination. An organizational leader has vision for a future. An organizational leader has influence with people around them. And an organizational leader is quick to take responsibility for their actions and for the result of a team. In the uncertainty, an organizational leader knows how to set forth the vision and make a decision. And it will be the confidence in which the vision is presented and the decision made that builds and breeds greater confidence in the team around the leader. An organizational leader knows to set proper milestones to get the team to the destination. And then the organizational leader knows how to prepare the team to receive. He or she first knows that success is an inside job, and it's a process of becoming. And so that leader becomes a new leader. They themselves go through a transformation on the inside first, and they lead their team to do the same. They develop the other leaders of the team. They develop the culture so that the team and the organization become the success that they are pursuing. And then finally, the organizational leader prepares to receive. And they prepare first by organizing everything that they are responsible for. And they create a process for everything that they were doing, so that in turn they are making room for the more that they're asking for. What do you think? Think you have what it takes to be an organizational leader? It's not as hard as it sounds. You can't allow the uncertainty and the chaos around you to fool you, to trick you, to scare you. Instead, you need to impress upon your future the destiny that you are after, the potential and the possibility that you know your team's capable for. I believe in you, leader. And I believe if you'll keep coming back and listening to more of these episodes, you'll continue to be equipped for greater places in the increase that you're after. God bless you. Catch you next time for another episode of Increase.